One of the most interesting and educating books I have read recently is The Forgotten Era by Max Lullin. This book. It talks about Nigeria before the British rule. It talks about the civilization of different nations that existed in the north, south, east, and west of Nigeria. The book compiled both documented and oral histories from different sources, and it tells the story in a very captivating way. In some instances, I felt like I was reading a chapter of Game of Thrones. You see, whenever someone wants to talk about the history of Nigeria, we always think Nigeria only started existing either from the British rule or from independence. There's a huge gap of knowledge before that, and that everything prior to that is not relevant. Like our ancestors were probably in the dark ages or living on trees. But that is not true. About 1,500 years ago, archaeological evidence suggests a civilization existed around north-central Nigeria, which showed they had artwork, music, love, religion, and technology. The first few chapters describe the northern part of Nigeria from the days of Bayajidda. That's between the years 600 and 900. How Bayajidda, a son of a king from Iraq, traveled to Kanem Borno Empire, then fled to Daura to form 7 Hausa states, and also subsequently became 12 Hausa states. It tells the story about the Fulani Jihad led by Usman Nfodio, and subsequently led by his son Muhammadu Bello. The most thrilling part was the war between the Sokoto Caliphate and the Borno Empire. Those ideological letters that they were sharing between themselves while the battle was taking place in the field. That was really a Game of Thrones thing. The book also describes the history of the Yoruba kingdoms from Ife. I enjoyed reading about Alafin Abiodun and how he defeated Bashorun Gaha. The climax was Alafin Awole's curse when Afonja and his military did a coup on him. That curse was so heavy and powerful. Other kingdoms such as the Benin Kingdom, Igbos, Igalas, Nupes were thoroughly discussed too. There's a lot to learn and talk about from this book. It answered many questions for me. For example, what was the political and economical systems that worked in the area now known as Nigeria before the coming of the British rule? What worked then that we are finding it hard to do now as people? At a time now that some patriotic Nigerians are coming together to start a national conference, is the parliamentary system of government actually the solution? Have we thought about a confederal system with secular states that worked before the British rule? These are some of the questions that the book tried to provide some answers for me, and I'm very happy to have read it. I'm going to read it again. It was so good. I first bought it on my Kindle and read it, and I had to order the hard copy so that I can keep it on my shelf and always use it as reference. If you have read this book, let me know what you think and share your insights. It's really good. I'm going to read it 2 or 3 more times. Bye, guys.